We refuse to repent as a church. The church, at the time of the beginning of America, used the Bible to validate slavery, women being oppressed in many different ways, killing off Native Americans. This is what they use. These stories right here, the book of Joshua, the book of Numbers. They believed and operated as, we're coming from Europe because we're oppressed, because they were. Europe was full of Catholicism, and they wanted to operate under Protestantism. They wanted to operate as Protestants, Lutherans and Baptists and all of those things. Well, I don't know the exact history, the layout of different denominations, so some of those may not have been spoken of until we got here, until they got here, because I'm another story. But they believed in their mind, they validated it by saying, we're oppressed in Europe by the Catholics, so we're going to cross through the water as the Israelites crossed through the water. And we're going to take this land by force because this is the land that God has promised us. And so because we see that the Canaanites were operating against the Lord in foolery and accursed things in the face of God, Israel was a judgment to the Canaanites the way that we are a judgment to the Native American. And that was how they validated killing off all of these Native American tribes and taking over the land. When did we repent about that? What year was that? What millennia did we repent for that? I don't recall it. There's also connection with Hitler as well with the church. When did we repent? When did we repent? And we, even to this day, still try to confirm oppression and slavery and all of those things with the Bible. People still get very upset about when people there are historical conversations about white Jesus, and they'll say, it doesn't matter what color Jesus is. And in reality, it doesn't. Historically, it matters to Caucasian people. And we know that as a fact. That's not an opinion. It's a fact. How do we know that it's a fact? Because he was changed to white 500 some odd years ago. So if it actually didn't matter that Jesus was white or whatever other race culture that he was, then why would you change him to black, to white? You changed him to that because it's easier to accept oppression and submission from people that look like the God that you serve. That's why. And it's easier to oppress people that don't look like the God that you serve. And if you study church history, you'll find even more so that gets confirmed over time, over and over and over and over again. The Pope at this time, they were going into war with Muslim nations, and they were having, the soldiers were convicted because the people that they were killing looked like the God that they serve. And so in response to that, the Pope summoned Michelangelo to create a Jesus that aligned with European standards. And his response was, there's no divine picture. There's no picture of the Trinity that aligns with those European standards and features. And so the direction was to make one, to create one. And so he created Caesar Borgia. Caesar Borgia was a real person, but he created that picture of white Jesus after Caesar Borgia, which was an actual person that lived and did some unholy things. But it all connects to a lot of nonsense that we've never repented for. And now here we are in America living off of the slavery and the murder and the oppression of people, and we have not yet repented.